off my sound. Give me a second. There we go. In case like I get notifications. Um, Yesterday was Trash Tuesday, and so I was kind of busy making sure everything was out, making sure that um, I got a grocery order, that like things were taken care of. Because my mom was going to come over to, she always helps me bring in my trash bins on after the collection because I have a hard time with stairs. Stairs are difficult for me, right? But it's even more challenging now that I have Miss Sally and have to either let her come down with me or try and contain her somehow while she's barking her head off. She says, "Oh, what are you doing, my man? Why am I secured in the bedroom?" Kind of stuff, right? Even if it's only like 5-10 minutes, she kind of freaks the fuck out. Um, she's spoiled because I'm here all the time. She's spoiled. She's sleeping on my bed right now. Cute little thing. Cutie little thing. Okay, so I woke up this morning and tuned into Cafe. I don't think I can watch Cafe while Xylie's on it. Like, I might have to give up that show for now. Sorry, Ken. I really enjoy watching it with Ken on it. But Xylie said that she hates people who flatly lie. That's hilarious. Like, she's in an improv troupe. She knows she is. And she is closest to the people who create the biggest lies, right? Within less than a minute of saying that she hates people who lies, she went on and praised Cab and said that she talks to him after every show. Copper Cab is one of the biggest acting personalities that they just took on. He has never made it through an entire 2-hour segment. And he regularly gaslights his hosts, the co hosts, and his audience. I don't even know why she said it. Like, it was so unnecessary that if you're working with an acting troupe and not, their material doesn't always land, why would you actually say that? It doesn't make sense at all to put down such a ultimatum like that, like an absolute, if you will. Only the Sith deal in absolutes, says the Jedi who also deal in absolutes. That's an absolute statement, right? Only the Sith deal in absolutes. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I was a Star Wars nerd for a long time. I ran a Facebook page. We had message boards, websites, like me and a group of people that met on the Star Wars message boards over 20 years ago. We're building things through Facebook, through the internet, and everything else. And we had these really funny communities of people that would get together and swap, quotes, or just shoot the shit. Like we didn't have any restrictions on conversations about like it has to be Star Wars related. No, no. We basically talked about everything. We had like political threads. We had threads about nothing. In fact, I was considered part of the Seinfeld crowd because I created a lot of nonsense topics. And so did other people, and they were just to like lighten the mood and create humorous situations, right? So anyway, she laid down an ultimatum today on an absolute on cafe that she can't live up to. That is impossible. That you hate people who flatly lie when um, your favorite. First of all, she and Billy have regularly said, and they reaffirmed last night, that they cannot, they will not stay in the LCU if one of them leaves, right? Or just not even just leaves the LCU, but leaves that show. Rewind. First of all, I don't believe Billy for a second would give up his opportunity on that network to just for Xylie. Like he's been carrying her baggage the entire time because she really has nothing to offer that channel. I have for the last since yesterday afternoon, I have tried to contact through the comments not only the live chat, like the Keemstar chat, the Keemstar show, which is Locale Live. I also went to Savage's channel. I dropped it there. I went to Chubby this morning and I dropped it there. Basically, they have a big donor. Whether or not she has alt accounts, whether or not people are impersonating her, this is a donor who drops a lot of money, $100 at a time. And like I've said for a long time now, it's pay to play with the LCU. Really, and anybody who is throwing down so much money, they're doing so because they want a call out. They want their name to be said on the show. They want to be noticed, right? Or even further, like with SSO Michelangelo and Ultra and some other people, they are hoping to buy their way in to a host position. They're hoping for this. I don't think that Mary was trying to do that, but I think that she was one of these people who wanted to hear her name. She wanted some sort of recognition. So, yesterday, she apparently announced that she was leaving the internet. But, like I said, they have said that there's alt accounts, there's impersonators, there's things going on with Mary because she had followed Becky to the Becky Boop universe, the BBU, and she was donating a lot of money there. And then when Keemstar outed Becky for still working with him, she came back to LCU and she's like, with all of his revelations of fraud and deceit, she started donating to the live show again. So she was back there again. What I was trying to point out to them is that at the same time that these declarations of I'm leaving the internet happened, Chantel did a live stream yesterday that specifically called out a comment from a Mary who donated to her scam for this 9-year-old Syrian girl with Down syndrome. She collected over $1,000 that she admits to, like $1,100 that she admits to for this little girl. And then next thing we know, she pops up in a really nice hotel in a different country. So this Mary person went on her live stream and questioned it. Where are the receipts? Like, are you actually giving the money to this little girl? Right? Are you going to give the money to this little girl? You said you're going to provide receipts. And Chantel basically shit on her. She shit on her during her live yesterday and said, I don't owe you the receipts. And, people are just going to dox the child and dox the family. And she, in the meantime, said the woman's full name. So if that was her billing information, then it was her full government name. I tried several times to get this on the radar of the people that it would have affected the most, which would have been Keemstar, Savage, and other hosts at the LCU. I tried several times since yesterday afternoon to get this on their radar. Nobody's looking into it. Nobody's researching it. This was a big dono for this channel. Big donor. And she said she started following in the comment that was left. She said she started following Foodie Beauty because of Yo Mama. That's what she said. What do I know? I don't know what's true, what's not true. But I do know that a lot of the people that have been attracted to Yo Mama, to the LCU, etc., that they have a hard time differentiating between what is true and what is drama, like what is part of this like written fantasy that they have put together. And in the case of Yo Mama, he had done a piece a couple weeks ago saying that it's so romantic that Foodie Beauty chased her love interest into war-torn Syria, where they're having a civil war, right? So she donated to this cause that Foodie Beauty advertised that the rest of us could see right away was a financial scam. But for whatever reason, this woman, she was duped. And it doesn't look like anybody wants to dig deep on this, despite the fact that they are stating that they have internal beef, they're writing diss tracks about each other and everything else. Well, if you do, then wouldn't you want to look into this and find out if Yo Mama really did this? Like, if that's the same Mary? Because if she's willing to put out Mary's government name on her live stream, and you have accepted donations from this woman as well, then you also have her government name. So, are you incapable of comparing notes or even reaching out to Mary and asking her if it's the same person? Are you the same person that donated to Foodie Beauty? Like, wouldn't you want to know more if it really mattered to you that much? I would think that if your reputation's on the line, that you would dig into it, right? You dig deeper. Just two thoughts. I can't even. So I have not done any clips or commentary on this, but just last week, Keemstar was going on and on about Mary being a big donor and we won her back, and all the other shows were talking about it too. We got her back. And then yesterday morning, she up and quit the internet. And a Mary who was on Foodie's live stream said she donated to Foodie because your mama suggested her as a follow, like suggested that she follow the plight of this woman, right? I think that they might be looking into it, but they're also probably a little worried about what sort of legal ramifications they have for being tied to that scam, for duping the audience. So this should be interesting. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what's going on, but I did try and point it out, and nobody said shit to the comments I left. Nobody fucking said shit. But then you've got Xylie on Cafe this morning saying she hates people that flatly lie. Okay, well, you work on an acting troupe. You know that the things coming out of their mouths are not always true. And in many cases, they are not true. So that is laughable. Anywho, that is my morning hump day words for you guys. Um, I was really hoping Frenchie would go live yesterday, and I think she had intended to, but with the information that's coming out of Chantel, it happened so fast and furious. She may feel like me, where I need more time to digest before I actually react to the material. So it's possible that she might feel the same way. Like, let me get this into my head right now, what she actually said, before I, pull it up and react to it in front of an audience. Because it makes it challenging, you guys. It does. But if Local Universe, Keemstar, doesn't get ahead of this Mary situation, and she actually participated in the fake fundraiser for a Down syndrome child in Syria, it's going to be a bad look. It's going to be a really bad look, you guys. Anywho, I hope you have a great Wednesday. I might do some more stuff later. Yeah, Tuesdays are always hard for me unless it's after like a 3-day weekend. If it's a 3-day weekend, they push our trash day to Wednesday. And we had some sort of weird shit go down a couple weeks ago where they Like they just didn't come. They didn't pick up our trash a couple weeks ago, and they came the next day, which was obviously an inconvenience for my mom who helps me. Um, but whatever, she doesn't have cable, so she can always watch TV at my house, right? Oh, that was the other thing we did last night. I've got her hooked on Survivor, but I don't have access to all the episodes. So I pulled up some clips last night of like the 50 greatest challenge hacks. But she keeps falling asleep. Every time she comes over here to watch TV, she ends up leaning back and like sleeping. I'm like, Mom, have you been evaluated for like narcolepsy or anything? She's like, No, I just get tired. It's not a problem. Okay, girl. Like, what am I gonna do? This is, I can't. All I can do is make the suggestions. But if she's happy just kind of falling asleep, that's okay. She can sleep on my couch. It's not. I don't have a second bedroom anymore. That bed had to be thrown out after the last person stayed here who I found out wasn't bathing, and she kept just dousing herself in lavender oil, and she was eating in the room, so it was ant infested and stuff. So that mattress and box spring have been thrown out. But I've been trying to figure out like how to renovate the room. Do I put a food like a is it called a like probably getting my fat terminology mixed into this. A fupa is part of the upper stomach, right? Well, you know what I mean. Like those beds that are just like temporary beds and they unfold. It's not like a fully functional sleeper couch, but like something that's good for like one night. If you have like a guest for one night, you wouldn't want to like bring in somebody to live there because it's not gonna be comfortable. I'm rambling. I know. All right, you guys all have a great day. Let me see. Oh, and I did get a stern email from YouTube about my karaoke yesterday. This is all copyrighted. I don't think I've gotten a strike or anything for it because I didn't monetize it. So they just sent me the everything you did was copyrighted. I figured, and that's why I did not monetize that particular video. But whatever. Okay. All right. You all have a great day. Take care.